Hi, my name is Łukasz Napora, and I'm a music journalist coming to you straight from Poland. I'm speaking to you in English because we, Nowa Rezydencja, with the help of Ministry of Culture, are aiming to introduce some quality local music and artists to a foreign audience. Today, I have the pleasure to interview the Beskres duo that in my country is very well known as two-thirds of a top electronic music bands called Camp. Camp has been around since 2007, released several very successful albums, on the verge of electronic music and pop. Last year, the group changed their musical approach a bit, and they went more clubby and underground. And at the same time, they decided to have a side project, a DJ project with Radek and Michał, who I have with me. We have recorded one of their Beskres gigs at Nowa Rezydencja in Krakow, and you have a chance to watch it in full on YouTube. This interview is for those who think this gig was great and want to know a bit more about the artists. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
I know you very well, but I'm sure many of our viewers don't know much. So our viewers are from abroad. So this interview is about introducing you and telling some basic, but going a bit in depth as well. So starting with basics, when and why did you decide to start Beskres, the DJ side project?
Oh, it was.
Start with.
It was all about playing some other music than ours, and actually we started our DJing a long time ago because it was in the beginning of camp. I don't know, it was 2010, 2011, but it wasn't Beskres. It's like when we enter more the techno side of electronic dance music, we decided to divide camp and you know, because there was a lot of mistakes that people thought that we play on our DJ sets. It was camp DJs actually. Then we will play our stuff as a camp, and you know, we needed to divide and to make it more clear.
Yeah, that was the problem, that many people came to the clubs and they were expecting that there's going to be the three of us and Tomek will sing and we will play our like most famous songs and so on, and that was the problem. Still many people who come to the parties think that the Beskres is not the duo, the name of the duo, but it's the name of the party actually. So you know, we started it like 2 years ago, I think. Yes. 2018, and then that still is a problem, because we are with camp, we are like since 2007 or 8 known as a electronic band, so it's really hard to divide it. And
but you know, but I understand the approach, because I remember similar things happened with Simeon Mobile Disco. And they have you know, because of the track with Justice, you know, We Are Your Friends, everyone expected that the Simeon Mobile Disco DJ set would be, you know, pop, electro pop and synth pop and happy music with singing, and actually the DJ set is pretty hardcore techno at times and very deep music. So they still have it, you know, they still have problems that people expect We Are Your Friends, and they get 4-on-4 club music. But at the same time, you changed, you have a side project, but at the same time camp became more clubby. So
yeah, and that was actually, that was influenced by our DJing job, let's say. To be honest, it's like in camp's history, like we are playing electropop music, and then I think about 2015, 2016, somehow we've lost it. I think we've lost the idea of music we want to play. Somehow we wanted to go more poppy, and that was and when we produced the tracks and released the whole album, we were about to go on tour. And when we started to play this music live, before starting the tour, we realized that this is not a camp. This is not our music. It's not the music we love. We want to play. We want to give to people, and that was really problematic for us. And Beskres and all the DJing stuff was somehow somehow natural to us, that we wanted to find some other way for us, for our for camp, for our artistical and musical expression. And this DJing part somehow influenced camp as well, but it was like the best we could do to redefine our music, to redefine what we really want to play. We started to change camp's music. Yeah, that's true. But I think that's really what we want to do.
When I read your interviews from last year, they sounded a bit like you discovered club music and discovered clubbing and partying and after parties, like you discovered it like 2 or 3 years ago. Have you discovered it, so let's say late? I'm saying late because I've been doing it since, I don't know, I'm 38 and I've been doing it since 20 years now.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it's like I'm the grandpa of this whole scene. But you know, how have you been partying before going clubbing, before loving techno? I expect Smolna and stuff like that. What were you doing before that? Because you said you had a DJ set, but as camp and playing different music. So how did it happen before, and how did it happen with you and techno?
So maybe first with old camp DJ sets, it was really connected with the music that we play 10 years or 8 years ago, or a couple of years ago. So it was like more electro pop and stuff from DFA records and so on. But at the same time, we started to discover more underground music, including techno, of course. And for me, it was like 7 years ago. I remember when we were playing on Audio River Festival in 2013, and we stayed to the end of the second day, and with Michael, and Minilog was playing, and it was really great show. And I think there was a very important moment for me, as not only as a musician, but especially as a listener, as a person who loves music, and it was like finding new way of possibilities, and finding new emotions. And it was I don't know if it's that moment is the border, but I remember this set very, very well. So from that moment till now, but maybe it was like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, it was like a process. We entered more the clubbing music, the underground music. So that's my perspective, but I think it's the same or really similar for Michael.
Yeah, I remember the set, and it was really great, and it was a great inspiration for us in building our own DJs, our own live set as well for camp. But I was a clubber before camp. I did some. I was more into house music, but then when we started playing as camp. It was over with parties for me, because when you are playing the music you love and you dance on the stage and you see people dancing with you, that's the best party you can ever have. So the problem started 2016, let's say, or 15, when the music we did in camp wasn't as dancey, as clubby as we expected, or as we wanted to be. So then the underground scene, let's say, the techno scene, was some kind of redefining and rediscovering of the electronic music, and I got deep into clubbing in 2016-17, because that was really wild, and it was really refreshing, and that was not new, but it was like I could really feel this energy that I couldn't find on stage. So that was the reason why I got so deep into this thing, quoting this famous techno. I don't know, techno or house track, but that was the beginning of the change in camp, and that was the beginning of Beskres, actually. But Mini Log and the set in 2013 was really, really important. Really, yeah, that's true.
It's amazing to hear that, because I've worked for Audio River for 12 years, and I've heard many stories of people who discover new genres. They went for drum and bass and they started to love techno, and or they went for a pop band. They went to hear Roisin Murphy, and they spent all night listening to drum and bass. And and I've heard so many stories. There was actually one couple I've heard of. I've never met them, but someone told me that they came to Audio River every year, but they never listened to electronic music. They only listened to classical music all year. But one weekend they go to Płock and listen to electronic music for 3 days. So, and it's really, really inspiring that this festival had an impact on your band. And it's really nice to hear that this is the actual that this is how it started, because from a booker's perspective, I wasn't a booker. I'm not a booker for Audio River, but sometimes we had this feeling when we were booking DJ sets, and that DJ sets of bands are like cheaper ways of getting a band. You don't have enough money for the whole band, but you can have a DJ set. So people are going to come because they like the band. Some of them are going to be sad that there's no one is singing, and so the DJ sets are often seen as cheaper version of bands. But when you hear it, when I hear you, I don't see this issue, and I'm really happy that and it's really interesting that this is how it went. And how did your audience, the camp audience, react to you becoming Beskres and to your sets as Beskres, right? You post your sets recorded at Wisłoujście or other events on camps social media. What's the response?
I think that there is some part that are really enthusiastic, and it's really fine for us that we can educate.
I love this word.
Because there is so many colors of techno music, and there is this more soulful, melodic part, and it's not. We think that it's not really far from what we are doing right now as a camp, or we've done a couple of years ago. You know, it's like a musicality of techno and house music. So this is our part of feeling, and we think that it's really natural for us to play this music for the people. And as I mentioned, there is a part that are going to this kind of music.
About way of playing, tell me about your setup. Do you have always the same setup? Because I've seen some videos and it's not just a CDJ and it's not a laptop. Tell me about it.
So we went differently. We went differently because we started a band and then became DJs, and not the other way.
So you mix with a guitar, yeah?
Yeah, and with a guitar. So and then we started to play DJ sets, and we decided not to use the CDJs. Everyone says it's really easy to operate it, but we stayed with Ableton Live, and the whole set is built onto computers and DAWs and yes, and that's how we play. We have some MIDI controllers and two computers and the DJ mixer, which is really inspiring when it comes to the FX section. So somehow we stayed in our comfort zone with the computers, but expanded in some other, like, strictly DJ techniques.
So you have two laptops going with on Ableton simultaneously, synced, like?
Yeah, it's synced via MIDI.
All right, that's something.
That's really easy for us. You know, it's for those who play on CDJs, it's normal to play CDJs, and when they saw our setup, wow, it's so hard to understand what you are doing. But for us, it's a really natural way to play, because we use Ableton in studio and for producing purposes. So it's like really simple way of playing someone's music with using our effects, and that's it. I guess it's really simple for us.
Yeah, I was just surprised. I saw many knobs, and I was wondering, what do you need all these knobs for?
These knobs is effects, and it's really good way, because you can assign every detail to the knob, and if you know, of course, what it is, it's like expressing your feelings on the stage.
You have more options doing that, but the main problem, I would say, is that you have to take all the stuff with you. It's not only the pen drive, but you have to take the computer, the controller, the sound card, and so on. So that's the problem, I would say. But it makes it always. You're not a regular clubber. You know more than the average person, and you are still amazed by all these knobs. So I think it makes sense, to impress people.
It works.
Only even if it not works, you can show you're really something more than a DJ, let's say. But it's
it definitely looks well in a camera, which is also important, right? We're in the era of streaming. So it's worth, and it looks well. Well, when I used to DJ, I also used Ableton. I had to drag the Akai APC with me, so I know the feeling. But it's also still lighter than a vinyl bag.
Oh yeah. That's true.
So let's not be, let's not make victims out of ourselves. What does your vocalist and your co-musician from camp, Tomek, think about your DJing career? Isn't he jealous or something that you're playing? And
No, I don't think so, because there was a couple of years ago he was also DJing with us, but I think it's not his way of express himself, and he told us that he doesn't. He didn't want to play DJ sets anymore. So I think he's cool with it.
Does he do anything?
No problem.
Does he do anything outside the camp? What does he do when he's not with camp? Like you have Widrow A. I don't know if Widrow A is still on. You have your own solo project. I wonder if Tomek is doing something on the side as well.
Yeah, he's doing a ambient project right now, and he started like 2 months ago, I think.
Yes,
and that is his way to redefine his emotions, I would say, musical emotions, and doing something different from what we are doing in camp.
So now I understand why you don't mix together. If he's in ambient and you're in techno, then it's like a pretty big gap to bridge.
But you can still make a good party of it. Like you have the dance section and the ambient section, so or chill out section. So maybe we will do it together, but like on different stages. But
maybe in Białystok, they're very strong with ambient, with the central salon of ambient. They actually have I think you heard the news yesterday that they have a street or some sort of alley called the Ambient Alley. So yeah, it's a good place to play that music. Okay, guys, one last question. How did you like Krakow and Nowa Rezydencja? What did you think about that gig? It was summer. It was like a break from pandemic. What did you think about it?
I wasn't prepared for that. What I saw there, because I knew it's going to be recorded, but it looked more like a television studio and not a club or open air venue. So that was really like, wow, that's something. And I think it's really refreshing thing for Krakow, for the whole scene, and for the way that for the whole club scene in Krakow, because all the clubs are really small in this town, and such a big venue. I think it's well organized. It's good for. I think it's good for this part of the city. It changes the PR for Nowa Huta, I think. It's really far away from the city center, and I know for people from Krakow, it's really. I think even if you live in Warsaw, it's really far away, like 10 kilometers from the city center. But it's still worth to go there and spend the whole night in Nowa Rezydencja. Yeah, that was my impression of this venue.
Nice. Radek, would you like to add something? I remember your Instagram story. You were very happy with the set.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I was in Nowa Huta for I don't know, third time maybe, and it's like when you heard a lot of Nowa Huta, but in connection with football fans, and it's like there was always dangerous, and we enter the club, and it's like a Hutas and Jimira, so the whole complex, really well known in Poland because of the communistic roots and so on. But it was really fantastic place when we entered, and there's you feel the vibe, you feel that is a really good place to be with, to be and to dance. So when we finish our set, we stay, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, and was dancing and chatting with people, and it was really fun. So I hope that we come back soon in the next year. When
I hope everything comes back next year, and all this pandemic time is going to be over. Thank you guys for this interview. I hope if anyone from our viewers hasn't seen the video from Nowa Rezydencja, please go to YouTube, to the Stay High Agency channel, and watch it. We also have the Immortal Onion concert recorded from that venue. So
yeah, really good band.
Yeah, Michał says really good band, and everyone concurs. Thank you guys for this.
Thank you.
Thank you.